guest is a hot sauce distributor. And he is also a video game record holder. He is known for his world records in Pac-Man and Donkey Kong. Please give it up for Billy Mitchell. Thank you, sir.
First of all, I'm not a distributor, I'm a manufacturer. And I'm not a world record holder, I'm the video game player of the century.
Dang. Which century?
Okay, my writers, are you writing this down?
And games of world record
Let's
caliber.
get this right next year.
Games of world record caliber. Sure, it would be Pac-Man, sure it'd be Donkey Kong, but it would be Miss Pac-Man and Centipede and Burger Time and Donkey Kong Jr. Do I need to go on, or we can go on with the interview?
So, oh no, that's we go with the interview. Have a seat, sir. Have a seat. It's good to see you.
That's all right. You'll have it correct next year.
Yeah, we're working on it. You getting all this?
I'm trying my best.
Okay, all right. So that's my writer over there. So yes, this is Blip. He wasn't here last year. Say hello, Blip.
Maybe he won't be here next year. All right, sir.
All right. Now, your signature style has made you one of the most recognized people in the arcade community. Where is the most interesting place that someone has recognized you?
Wow. You know, I've never
First time I've stumped him.
No, I've never been asked that question. But probably the most interesting one was I often run a lot. And I'll run a long distance. If you remember the movie Rocky, he starts running. Well, I'm just running from my house, and in this particular one, I was going to run 6 miles. I had just started, and a car goes by, and people are beeping, "Oh my God, Billy Mitchell, Billy Mitchell!" And I mean, I'm running. "Hey, dude, you're awesome. We're gonna run with you." We didn't run a half a block, and the guy's heaving. He goes, "No, can I just get a picture?" Sure. So I stopped, and we snapped a picture. And yeah, he didn't make it like a single block. I thought I was going to be Rocky and the whole crowd was going to start to follow me. But that's only in the movies. A lot of stuff in the movies aren't exactly true. They're embellished just a little bit. Not that you'd be familiar with that, but you know, they're embellished just a little bit. But that was probably the most memorable one.
So, tell me, what initially got you into the arcade scene?
I played a lot of pinball, a lot. Nobody could beat me, sorry. But I love competition. Well, the competition moved from pinball to video games, and that's the competition I wanted. So I started playing Donkey Kong, and I got really, really good, to the point I called Nintendo, and they questioned that anybody could ever get that high of a score. So I said to the big arcade owner at the place I go to, I says, "Where do they have contests on this?" And he goes, "They don't have contests on that." And I go, "Why not?" He goes, "Well, I mean, Donkey Kong's popular." He says, "But I mean, it's not Pac-Man." And I go, "What do you mean? It's Donkey Kong." And he goes, "Yeah, but it's not Pac-Man." So I just looked at him and I go, "Really? Well, I guess I'll get the world record on Pac-Man too." So I did that. So it's just a competitive spirit that I have. I have like this obsession to win. It's not just in video games, it's in a lot of aspects of life.
So now you're well known for Pac-Man and Donkey Kong. What was it that drew you to those particular games?
Without a doubt, I wanted the games that had the most competition. I can take anybody in this room and I can take you out to one of the obscure games out there. You'll play a game and you'll have a world record. And no one will ever submit a score to take the record from you, because nobody plays that game. Everybody played Pac-Man, everybody played Donkey Kong, everybody wanted to be the best. So it had the most intense competition. Therefore, to get a world record on that would catapult you higher, and it would give you more competitive recognition.
So it was the exposure and the popularity of the titles.
100%.
Okay, I got that. So, were there any other games that you considered taking on but decided against for one reason or another?
No, but since you're on that subject, I'm going to Life magazine in 1982 for the first gathering of competitive players, and there's a guy that lied about a Donkey Kong score. I knew he did. I had this attitude, he couldn't be better than me, not a chance. Well, I was worried that I wouldn't get in the Life magazine photo because he lied about his score, and therefore I wouldn't have the world record. So 3 weeks before, I sat down and I started playing Centipede, and I played it 25,047 hours to get a world record to guarantee my place at Life magazine. So then at Life magazine, this guy that was full of sugar, I pinned him down. He was there, he couldn't escape me, he's right there. He got 190,000 points, 190,000 in his game. That would put him in the top 1% anywhere in the world. He would be a total focus in any arcade, 190,000. So there, in front of the cameras of Life magazine, I played after him. And I got 849,000 on my first man. It was that moment that I was forever obsessed with the idea of video game competition and that I had to be the best. That's where it went out of control.
Awesome. Okay. Well, let's talk hot sauce. So, how did your hot sauce empire begin?
The golden age of video games was coming to a close. It was 1986, and there was no more organized competition. That's my phone. And the fact of the matter is that I wanted to play video games my whole life, but because I was supposedly older and more mature now, I couldn't. So I took the obsessive personality I gained through video games of having to be the best. And my family had a chain of restaurants, and our main item was chicken wings. And I had this obsession that whatever was created on the market, I could create better. So that delayed gratification and that incredible focus I had, that's the direction I steered it. And when I say delayed gratification, I worked it and worked it and worked it. I worked it for 12 years, and in the 12th year, I finally drew a paycheck. That's delayed gratification, and now it's the sole source of my income. So that's what obsession will do for you. Think about what you would do for 12 years and not get paid. Nobody? Play video games?
That's commitment. That's true commitment.
So, well, I spent many years fighting crime without any recognition. When I didn't need recognition, I did it for justice.
And certainly no pay.
And certainly no pay.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So, yes, luckily I inherited the Phantom Cruiser, so.
Being that you fight crime, I'd imagine you get death threats.
It's par for the course.
Do you get any,
it just goes with the turf.
But do you get any gifts that just show up in the mail?
Well,
and if so, what's your most memorable one? Because I'll tell you mine.
So, well, I've had plenty of cakes baked for me, you know.
Did they hit you with them?
Huh?
Did they hit you with them?
So, some, you know, one had an anvil in it, so, but blasted that one with my heat ray, melted right on the spots.
Well, I'm sitting in the office one day, and this big bouquet of flowers show up, and I'm like, and it just has a card. Wanted to make your day, Jamie. And I have no idea who it's from, and I'm looking at it.
It's from Jamie.
That's a hell of a good point. Man, where were you when I needed you? So, but I'm looking at the flowers, and they're different colors. Really odd. And one of them's blue, and I thought, blue. I mean, I know what red means, and different colors have different meanings, blue. So I thought, look, just so you know, I take the flowers, I bring them home, good guy, I give them to my wife. She goes, what's this? And I go, well, I got these, they were delivered to the office. I showed her the card, and I go, I put them on the table. And the next day I'm in the office, and I sit there and I go, Jamie could be a guy. Jamie. So I start looking through emails, and I'm like, maybe this one. The phone rings and I go, yeah, can I help you? And it's, hi Billy, this is Jamie. It's a woman. And she goes, I just wanted to check in. I wanted to see if you got the flowers I sent. I said, oh gee, yes, thank you so much, I did. And I says, you didn't have to do that. And she says, I just wanted to make you smile, I was thinking of you. And I said, oh, thank you. I says, I brought them home and I gave them to my wife. She put them on the dining room table and she thought they were real interesting looking, and that went right over her head. She didn't say anything. And I go, you threw me for a loop. I said, I've never seen a blue rose before. Oh, you know what that means, don't you? And I thought, uh-oh. I go, no. She goes, those 4 colors are the 4 colors of the Pac-Man ghosts. So I go, oh. But here's the most shocking point. I mean, there's strange people everywhere. Just look left and right, okay?
Not here, no.
Yeah. But you expect strange things to happen, but never in my life would I have expected that from a reporter who interviewed me. That was a reporter from a newspaper. They stay on such a professional level. It just shocked me. So what'll happen is, about once a year, on July 3rd or July 4th, she'll send me an email. Hi champ, thinking of you. I had no idea, I don't know who she is, what, nothing. But I'll get it every once in a while, but to be honest, July 3rd, perfect Pac-Man day. July 4th, I guess what I represent, is a day that I'll often get odd things. And usually it's fun, and every once in a while it's strange. But that's kind of an important day.
So,
I always brace for impact on those days.
Well, that particular one was very well thought out.
Actually,
Yes.
Billy, we have something for him right now.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
What do you mean something?
Well, okay.
I actually have it.
He's
here. I can take care of it.
Jamie's here?
No, Jamie's not here.
Oh, this.
From a country.
These are 2 girls who did a musical and sent me this on July 4th.
I love America. You can tell by my tie. 'Cause every time I take it off, maybe bald eagles cry. 'Cause America and I are so close. Every war feels like I was there. But I can't enlist 'cause there's no way I'm ever cutting my hair. I am America. I piss red, white, and blue. I am America. Who the fuck are you? I get up in the morning and I take a whiz. I look at my wife and I realize just how lucky she is. Because she married America, she knows she did right. Because she married America, I stuff her full of freedom every night. America, I piss red, white, and blue. America, who the fuck are you?
Oh man, I'm choking up.
You know how you put 3 initials in when you win a video game? Well, people ask me, what 3 initials do you use? And I always tell them, it's as easy as looking at me. Look at this. No, not TIE. It's USA. So I had Latin friends, and I had some Canadian friends, and even some of the brown ones. But I always had to keep America on top. On top. I am America. I piss red, white, and blue. I am America. Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, that's 2 girls that did the King of Kong musical, and it was brought to my attention, and I called them and talked to them, and I think they were like intimidated the first time we talked, but I thanked them, and I made them promise me that what they do, which kind of pokes fun at us a little bit, I made them promise me they wouldn't change anything no matter what. because I kind of live off the negativity. And every once in a while, like I said, I show my wife everything. I can't get in trouble, I'm just too open. So I played that for her, and she laughed. And every once in a while she'll stuff it in my face, because I'll say something like, well, all right, I'll get that done. I mean, you'll be happy with that, right? She'll go, oh, I is. So she knows how to dish it back at me. So I don't suppose you ever run into those problems, huh? This guy doesn't dish it back at you, huh?
So, well, he doesn't speak English, so no, not really. Mostly he just flings poo around the ship. So.
But no, there's a lot of, it's actually really cool. I had somebody ask me a question I've never had asked, which I didn't think would happen. Like at the last convention, they said, what do you know now, or what do you do now that you wish you knew or you did better in earlier years? It doesn't matter what comes at me, positive or negative, and it doesn't matter how negative. I know how to roll with it. I know how to laugh with it. Nothing. The best part of any show that I do, the most popular one, is called Hate Mail with Billy Mitchell. I mean, I could go on for hours and you'd never stop laughing. And not only do I enjoy it, I antagonize it. You know, if I get a negative phone call, I save the number. I'll come on stage here, if it had the right setup, and I'll call that person back. And I'll say, listen, we didn't finish that phone call. And I'll call them back in front of everybody here. I mean, it might be like a drunken frat boys and things like that. So we usually got to be careful that there's not any young ears in the room, but you don't got to worry about him. He doesn't speak English.
No, he's fine. He's good. He's seen it all. He's fought a million battles by my side.
We actually, Walter has a file where all the negative emails that are gotten, and you can ask him when he's up here, he stuffs them in a file, and we got him because it doesn't matter what happens. We can roll with it. It's awesome. So let me ask you, of your illustrious career, what's the highest point, the most memorable, the most flattering, the one that's just unmatched by anybody in this audience?
I would have to say the day that I adopted Jen and Chase. They have been my trusted compadres for quite some time. So many thanks goes to those two. They've bailed me out of a lot of tough spots. They've given me more than I could ever repay. And they also are the only ones that clean all the poo off the ship that's flung around by Blip here. So I want to thank you for coming on to the show tonight. It's wonderful seeing you again. I certainly hope you'll come back.
Next year?
Next year.
Will you be here? You're
I
gonna
will
move in
be
time?
here.
All right.
So I will fly in and we will do this again.
All right, I'm gonna go sit there. I hope somebody got like a valve, I don't know, tranquilizer or something. When this guy gets out of line, how do you calm him down? He needs some over there.
So, well, we can do the same thing. We'll just shoot him with a tranquilizer.
All right.
Free snack.
All right, thank you again. Billy Mitchell, everybody. All right, moving right along. All right, my last guest tonight is an arcade owner who has had quite a history. He has been a newspaper man, an oil trader, and he owns the Twin Galaxies Arcade. Please give it up for Walter Day. Greetings, Walter. Wonderful to see you again, sir. Wonderful to see you again. Again, in that strapping fashion sense of yours. So now when people picture Walter Day, it's inevitable that they imagine a striped referee uniform. So how did that come about, and when did you purchase your first shirt?
Just a couple days ago.
That only happens to him.
The striped shirt. Just a couple of days ago, I gave a trading card to the president of the university that's in my community. It's a community-based trading card set. And he looks at me and he says, because I wore this, he says, "Oh, I see you have your prison shirt on." So the striped prison shirt has been worn by me now for about, well, I wore it in 83 originally when we had what some people consider history's first video game world championship, which was on That's Incredible. So I wore the referee shirt then. But then I really started wearing it in 1996, all the time. So it's now in November of 1996. In fact, in 2 weeks, it's 20 years ago that I sat down for the first time ever to write the official Video Game and Pinball Book of World Records. So it's 20 years ago that I started writing all that stuff in November of 1996. So 20 years now for the referee shirt.
Ah, that's quite a long time. That's quite a history. There you go. So,
Shirt.
now, it's fair to say that you know more about the arcade than most people. Are there any specific video game titles you might say is essential for any video enthusiast?
Describe an enthusiast. Someone who's a collector, who has a lot of money. Someone who wants to just play the games. Someone who wants to invest in the games. There's so many ways to answer that. But if I were to have a basement arcade, I do have a basement. If I were to have a basement arcade and I could have space for maybe 25 games, I personally like, this is my own personal list, I like things that are more thought-provoking and more strategy-oriented. So I would have things like, I love Mousetrap, I love Wizard of War, I love Miss Pac-Man even more than Pac-Man. I love Asterak. I'd pay 25 grand for one if I could find one. What do I like? I like Robotron, but that's probably the wildest one I like. That Centipede I like. So more maze-oriented, strategy-oriented games I would choose. So really that list would be different from one person to the next, because it's really how you feel and really how each person has a different kind of energy. Each person has a different kind of mind. They have a different amount of eye-hand coordination, fast reaction time. So they automatically will gravitate to something that is most comfortable to them, that fits with their rhythm of how they think, how they feel, and their energy level. So one person's list is going to be completely different from another person's list. And if they were to analyze it even deeper, you find out that you have a psychological orientation to color schemes and impulses and stuff like that. So one person might love a game that has a blue theme on the screen. Another person might have a green theme. There's so many ways that your list of favorite games is just going to bubble up and form in your mind because of all the different characteristics you will have as an individual. Because your nerves and your brain and all that kind of stuff play the complete role in what you will choose for your list of games. You be quiet. Okay, anyway. So that's probably more of an answer than you expected.
Can you repeat that?
Okay, I'll repeat it.
So now we are, as I see by our timekeeper back there, we are running a little short on time. So, but I do have one final question I do want to ask you about. That you are an accomplished musician. So when did your passion for music begin?
Well, I've always loved music because in 1973, I had a girlfriend who played an album for me of Scott Joplin music. Ragtime piano, the kind of music that was in the movie The Sting, where most people remember from. And I said, this is incredible. And I had never sat down at a piano before. So I went and got a piano, and I sat down. I bought a book of music with all that music in there, and I figured out how to read the music, then I figured how to play the songs. By the time I was through, I could play 38 of them, and I used to give big concerts in Spain, France, Switzerland, Iowa, Massachusetts. I used to play ragtime, just like you'd hear, just like you hear on the records. Exactly, I could play it and sound as.
Next year, I want a piano in the room. We got that? Someone please take a note. We need to get a piano.
Oh no, I can't play them anymore. I forgot them because I stopped playing back around 1985. And so I think I could play a little bit of the Maple Leaf Rag, but it would be very clumsy.
It was only 31 years ago.
Only was 31.
Only.
But in 1985, another girlfriend I had one night called me up and said, "Walter, I've secretly been seeing a friend of yours." And so it completely broke my heart. Our relationship was over that night. Yeah, she started dating him. So essentially, she's still with him. Okay. So essentially, our relationship was over, of course. But about 10 days after that happened, I started having that really interesting experience of suddenly hearing music come up. Music and lyrics and song ideas and melodies and rhythms and all sorts of stuff. Then whole orchestration started coming up. I started hearing stuff like I was listening to a radio, but it was all songs that no one had ever written. They were like original pieces. So I sang a whole bunch of them in the tape recorders, and I played them on the guitar and on the piano. By the time I was done, it all came out. It was 138 songs. So, and you've heard some of them in The King of Kong and Chasing Ghosts and stuff like that. So my big plan now is I'm moving away from being completely involved in video games to start working on music. Don't listen to them. Because that's my heart's desire. That's what I want to do next. I want to produce music and also write a musical. So those are my own personal goals.
I don't want to discourage him because I want him to do that. But the idea he's going to move away from video games, he first told me that in 1985.
Okay, but here's what's interesting.
Baby steps now, Walter, baby steps.
Now, here's what's interesting about it for me. You know, it was very challenging to do all this video game stuff over these 30-some years, you know? And the music thing, it's almost like in some ways it's such a big challenge to get smart enough to write a musical, to get smart enough to write novels. I want to write science fiction novels too. A lot of things I want to do that are going to completely challenge me and really have to make me become better and better and smarter and clearer and more dynamic and more creative. And it's a challenge I really relish because it's really over my head. But there's no way I'm not going to take the challenge and try to do this stuff and actually do the music and do the musical and do the writing and do the novels and all that stuff. So to me, that's the best part of it, that it would make me have to become so much better in every way than the person I am right now, that it's every worthwhile the effort to try and make it happen. Anyway, that's my final thought on that.
All right. Walter Day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Well, that's it for our show tonight. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I'd like to thank all my guests again. Brian Coleman, Keith Apicary, Billy Mitchell, and Walter Day. Give it up for them. Let's hit that theme song one more time.